What's up, ladies and gents? We are coming at you today to talk to you about making this life counter. So a quick note, this was made for as more as an instructional to go along with 3D print files that we have posted on the internet. The 3D print files are free, so anybody can get them. But if you stumbled across this video just blind searching YouTube because you're trying to figure out how to design one of these from scratch, that's not what this video is. But if you leave a comment below, I am more than happy to show you guys how I made this one. Now, chances are, if you are watching this video, you already have the 3D print files, but if you don't and you just stumbled across this, you can download these print files at our Patreon page for free. You do not need to be a patron. We have made this available for free to everybody because we love everybody. Of course, we love our patrons significantly more than everybody else. Don't judge, bread is life, right? So you're not going to need any messy glues or toothpicks or rubber bands or car battery. I don't know, whatever everybody else seems to be using to put these things together. It seems a bit excessive to me, so we've made this one simple. All right, let's begin with the things you will need. This is going to outrage and shock some people, but you are in fact going to need the 3D printed pieces. That's right. Let's start off with this female end cap and this male end cap right here. You're going to need both of those. You will need 2 wheels, although you can print more and attach more at a later time. You'll need these 2 wheel cores. And I strongly recommend some 150 or 200 grit sandpaper. Because this is filament for most people that we're going to be working with here, it's not always going to be completely perfectly smooth, especially on the edges, so we're just going to sand a little bit of this around the edges. We're not trying to take a ton of material off, we're really just trying to smooth all this out and make sure that it can go in flush. We will do the exact same thing on both wheel cores. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on it here, right? You're just letting the sandpaper do its job. Just scuff up the surface a little bit. And if you see anything hanging over the corners, depending on the quality of your print, just make sure that you smooth that over, get that off. Honestly, depending on the quality of your print and printer and what filament you use, this step may not even be necessary, but I'm including it because you can't go wrong by doing this here. Now, this next part is pretty necessary. If you want some really smooth action, you don't want to have to fight with the counter. As you're spinning the wheel, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to scuff up the actual outside of the wheel here. We're not worried about getting in the grooves. I'll show you why here in a moment. Also, quick side note, while we're scuffing these wheel cores up, for anybody who doesn't know, I like to feature original music here on my YouTube channel. Most of it is music that I have made. What you're hearing right now is a song that I recorded, but it does feature a dear friend of mine here in just a moment doing a little solo on the keys, and I just wanted to give him a shout out, the talented Robert Grissom. If anybody would like to hear more of his music or check him out or even download this track, it is available for free on the Patreon page, and there is more info about where you can hear more of Rob's work. This next part is one of the most important parts of the entire process. We're just going to take our sandpaper and gently go inside each of the wheels, and we're going to sand on our levers. We want to scuff these guys up, make it so that they will glide across that wheel core a lot more smoothly. Make sure that you get even coverage on each one and don't break the darn thing. These things can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to print. If you break it, then you're gonna have to wait like several hours in order to get another one. Just be patient. On that note, I totally recommend printing these if you're doing PLA prints. I highly recommend using PLA Plus or carbon fiber for these prints. I actually used a metal infused bronze PLA, and literally the only reason I'm using that in this video is because I put the black ones on this gorgeous Magic the Gathering sliver mat, which, by the way, isn't that thing awesome? I put the black pieces down and they blended into the mat too well. You really couldn't see them, so I printed this one especially for you guys. I am also going to go ahead and take the time to remind everybody who downloaded the print file on Patreon that I did recommend in that post that you use PLA Plus or carbon fiber. Why am I doing that now? Because this next part, for anybody who didn't follow that advice and use standard PLA, is about to get frustrated, I think. So you're going to take one of your wheel cores and you're going to push it in gently into the female end cap. Now this one should go pretty easily, and we're going to discuss why here in just a few minutes, or really more like a minute. When sliding your first wheel onto the core, it's important, take a look here, you want to line the wheels up with the grooves on the wheel core, and then give it gently, slowly, gently give it a few test spins to break in those levers without breaking those levers, right? You just want to get some flexibility going, and then they will work beautifully. I haven't broken one yet, at least not this way. So once you have rotated a few times back and forth, you want to go ahead and put your second wheel core on. Now this wheel core is going to feel a bit tighter. In fact, all of the male to female plugs are going to feel tighter from this point on. There's a reason for that. I've got a little bit of a string kind of overhang here. It's still a little tight, which can happen. This is a 3D printer we're talking about. Don't force it. In fact, I'm going to sand on this piece for just a second. Better to be safe than sorry. Let me see if I can just get this out of here real quick. Alright, I'm just gonna scuff this up just a little bit more. While I'm doing this, one other thing I want to mention is when you're pushing these into each other, don't put them in at an angle and push them in at an angle, right? You want to try to push them straight down. So you see right here, I've got it kind of sticking in there, and I'm trying to apply as best as I can even pressure down. Depending on what your infill level is, it may be hollow on the inside. You don't want to break it. All right, we got that slid into the groove there. We're gonna give it a few test spins. Okay. And that feels all right. Now, this is the one you really want to be extra careful about. And I am just going to gently get this in. This is actually really hard to do with a camera in my face, just so you guys know. I thought I broke it there for a second. I'm gonna move this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do it with a camera in my face. 1 second. It's not worth breaking it. Okay. I seriously thought I broke it there for a second because I couldn't hardly see what I was doing. You really need to just take your time with this, guys, but it will all go together beautifully like this. You are ready to rock and roll. Okay, I lied. In my defense though, I didn't realize that I lied until after I started editing the video. You are not ready to rock and roll yet because I forgot to tell you something really important if it's not already obvious. That being said, I can't remember what I did with the bronze life counter, so I just picked up this black PLA Plus one. I'm going to show you real quick how easy it is to add more wheel cores and wheels. There is a reason why the far left end cap was so much easier to be pressed into if you printed this thing with high quality settings, right? That is because if you hold your life counter and you squeeze tightly, you can pull that right off. You can pull your wheels off, you can slide another wheel core on, and then whenever you have however many you need, you can just pop that right back together and you are ready to rock and roll. Just like that. Again, guys, you can pick up the 3D print files from the Patreon PlayForge page. We always appreciate you guys supporting us. You don't have to be a patron to download this file. We still want you to enjoy it. There's lots of other great benefits though if you are willing to support us. If nothing else, if you found this helpful, if you like the 3D print file, if it helped you out, please consider at least liking this video and subscribing to our channel. It helps us out a lot. Love you guys.